What is up, guys? It is Eddie here. So as promised, we're going to do our last video on our basic training series where I'm going to go over and address your questions, your comments, your DMs. So we're going to go ahead. We are going to get right into it. So first one I'm going to talk about is from user Pathy here. How bad was the peanut butter shot 1 to 10? So in terms of shots, I know I got several shots going into basic training simultaneously while I was at reception, and I do mention that in my earlier video, my part 1, where you will go to reception. You'll spend a few days in reception where you get your shots and whatnot, your uniforms. I would honestly say I don't remember getting the peanut butter shot. I don't. I got several other shots, such as Tdap, such as I think rotavirus, and there was a couple others. I can honestly say 1 out of 10 at best. Honestly, it was miserable. I was very sick through the entirety of my basic training, so there was that. I'd say about 8 out of the 10 weeks that I spent at United States Army basic training, I was sick. It sucked, not gonna lie. So from user J here, how is boot camp as an older person, 38, thinking about it? Very doable. You can do it. Start training. Start doing exercises. Start running. Start doing push-ups, calisthenics. That will help you the absolute most. But we had a guy, 38 years old, right? He was in the 490s on his AFT score. Out of the 5 events, he got total of about 490 out of 500. He was almost our Iron Soldier, so it can most definitely be done at the age of 38. Talk to your local recruiter because you're probably going to need an age waiver. So, best of luck to you, bro. You can do it. Our guy Para here mentioned, I watch in YT but couldn't comment. Did you use the M4 or the M7? So, we use the M4 A1 carbine for our rifle training for basic. I shot sharpshooter. There is 3 levels of marksman badge you can get. Get your marksman badge, your sharpshooter, and your expert. Fun fact, I was actually fairly close to expert. I ended up shooting sharpshooter, so there you go. However, the Army did announce that they were switching to the M7 at some point. They're currently testing it. I don't have any updates personally. As far as I know, it is the M4A1 carbine. That is the rifle you are going to shoot at Army basic training. All right, we're going to talk, we got Boots here, who actually DM'd me this as an older guy here myself. How bad is basic? I'm 34, kind of out of shape. Always wanted to join, and I'm looking into it now. Just curious what kind of advice you have. So, as somebody who did it at the age of 35, I can honestly say it's very doable. You can most definitely do it. If you're out of shape and you still want to go, I would start exercising now. I actually, in an earlier video, mentioned the PT aspect of it. Do a lot of running, do a lot of calisthenics, high weight or high rep, low weight in terms if you're going to lift weights, because if you bulk, that will only hurt you more. So that being said, it's totally doable, but honestly, you're going to be surrounded by kids that are just out of high school, 18, 19, 20. That is probably going to be the most challenging thing, being somebody that's 34 or my age, 35, in dealing with those personalities, because you've been through life more, you've done more with your life, most likely, than those kids coming out of high school, 18, 19. Our guy also mentioned here, my other biggest problem is I'm not sure about height weight requirements. So the Army just recently changed its height and weight requirements to height and waist. So I'll use me as an example. 6'2", so I'm 74 inches tall. They measure my waist at 38.5 inches. So whatever they divide those two numbers by, it can't be greater than 0.55. So I had a 38.5 inch waist, which they measure from the navel around, into my height, which is 74 inches, and my number was 0.52, for example. So be mindful. You take whatever height you're at, whether it's 72 inches, 74 inches, so on and so forth, and measure from your navel around. You get your waist. As long as it's below 0.55, you're good. All right, moving on to the next one here. We're going to This one, Ashley Sutton. I leave for FL Wood in Fort Leonard Wood in 30 days. She messaged this a while back ago. I believe she's already there now because it was July 3rd, 30 days. I'm a little more at peace with it. I've been really nervous. I'm 32, so joining older as well. I appreciate your service, and thanks again for your videos. Glad they helped. This is why I do it. This is why I enjoy doing it. So there you go. Hopefully you see this video when you get out, and let me know how your experience was. So we got Big Back here who's talking about blousing boots, which I'll actually go and do a video on it later. He said fold about 3 inches of your sock outward, then just put your trousers over your sock. Grab your folded sock through your trousers and fold them under your sock. That's definitely one way to do it. That's actually the way I do it, believe it or not. So I'll demonstrate that in a later video. So thank you for that, Big Back. I appreciate you. And our last one from Paratrooper Lance that we're going to cover before we close this video out. Love the content, brother. I'm an old Paratrooper, 91 to 99. What MOS are you doing in Arizona? I was a comm soldier. That MOS doesn't exist anymore. I'll give you some advice. Keep copies of your medical records when you ETS, or ask a copy of your ETS card. When you went out, go straight to the VA, get a physical scheduled, get a rating, and get paid for the destruction of your body. So with that being said, yes, go to sick call if you feel like you're injured or you're having issues, having trouble. You may get flack from whoever, whether it's cadre or especially your battle buddies. I know I got quite a bit of flack for having to go to sick call, and still do even while I'm in AIT. So it's part of the game. It is what it is, but you got to care about yourself. You got to care for your body, and you got to look out for you at the end of the day. Yes, of course, the Army is going to make sure you're taken care of in many aspects, but also make sure you're taking care of yourself, because ultimately, at the end of the day, there's 500,000 soldiers in the Army. So just keep that in mind. That's all I got for this one, guys. Thank you for your participation. I appreciate it. I had fun doing this series. I plan on doing another one about AIT. I had a particularly longer AIT because of my MOS, which I'm a 35 series, so it's a longer MOS. That's all I got for this one. Become unstoppable.